Records and the good folks at Rockefeller Records.
Thanks for joining us. Time to get ready for NBA action on 2K Sports. It's a Saturday presentation of the NBA. It'll be Kevin Love and the Minnesota Timberwolves facing off against Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks. And now we head out to Dallas with Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, and Clark Kellogg.
It's an all-Western Conference matchup in today's game as the Timberwolves come into town for this one. Home court advantage goes to the Mavericks playing here in the American Airlines Center. Kevin Harlan here with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Presented by State Farm. Here are the starters for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Kevin Love and Pekovic are inside. In the backcourt, Ricky Rubio and Luke Ridnour. And it's Kirilenko in at the three. And for Dallas, Sean Marion and Dirk Nowitzki, both excellent players at the forward spots. Then there's Chris Kaman. Then it's Mayo. And it's James in at the one spot.
You know, guys, one of the reasons Dallas did not re-sign Tyson Chandler last year was they wanted to preserve some cap space. And they had Dwight Howard in mind, but Dallas has had to use their cap space elsewhere. But, you know, the key was just developing enough flexibility to give them a lot of different options. And I think that's always a factor for any NBA team.
Love with the screen for Rubio. Shot clock at 5. The Timberwolves need to get a shot off here. That's good. Pekovic has got the first points of the night for the Timberwolves. On defense, Minnesota. Dallas, to me, Steve, always seems a team very mindful of upcoming free agents and cap space restrictions. One of the reasons why they made the moves last year. Even if, Clark, they don't get a big name, they always seem to be in the mix somewhere.
Well, they're always hovering around, and I think it points to the savvy of the front office there, Kevin. I mean, and that's really what allows teams to be competitive over long periods of time. It's not just about the players you have and their talent, but it's how you acquire players and piece together your team.
They're very forward-thinking, aren't they?
Yeah.
Ridnour's shot is off. Here's Dallas. Marion with it. Now Kirilenko defending. Marion kicks to James. Dishes it to Mayo. Rebound Love.
You know, Kevin Love started last season with 8 straight games of at least 20 points and 12 boards. He was the first player to do that since the 1975 season, 37 years ago. That's incredible.
Yeah. On defense, Minnesota. Came in a screen on Ridnour. Nowitzki left side. James outside, and it's going to be a 3-second call. Timberwolves have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. And with Kevin Love, we'd come to expect him to be an outstanding rebounder, but his advancement as a scorer has been, I think, probably, Steve, the most eye-opening.
Yeah, 26 points a game last season, 4th in the league, Kevin. Shows you how hard he's worked. You know, when he was in college at UCLA, really was pretty much of an interior scorer. Rarely did he go outside and knock down threes, but now he's one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA.
On defense, the Timberwolves. James outside. He kicks it to Mayo. Back to James. Shoots over Rubio. And James gets it to go.
A nice piece of work there. Find a little space and pull the trigger.
Ridnour passes to Rubio. Rubio gets a screen from Pekovic. Rubio outside. Shot clock at 6. Feeds it to Pekovic. Came in with the block. And here comes the break. Here's Marion. No luck. So Minnesota will take it the other way.
Too bad for Minnesota last year. Things were really going along smoothly, and then Ricky Rubio tore his ACL, which was a big loss for the Wolves. But this is a team with a bright future. A lot of good young talent and a great coach in Rick Adelman.
Mavericks have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. James kicks to Mayo. 1:31 left to play in the first quarter. Another three for Dallas. Yeah, Steve, it just seemed last year was just a glimpse of what the Wolves could accomplish. And as they continue to grow, and as a team, you have to look at their outlook on things, certainly. But from afar, it looks like their compass is pointed in the right direction.
Without question, Kevin. I mean, they still need to address some defensive issues, but they showed last year that they can get up and down the floor and score the basketball with anybody.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Eldon Brand's checked in for Kaman. White comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. Vince Carter is checked in for Sean Marion. And it's Collison in for James. That's good.
You know, he got one step ahead of the defense on that one. Excellent job.
Perea with it. He's against Collison. Straight up. Perea, no good.
That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close.
Collison dishes to Mayo. That falls. Great assist by Darren Collison. 8 points for O.J. Mayo. Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin.
To end the run. Good.
How about that? They respond to a three-pointer with a quick three of their own.
Yeah, terrific. Great back-and-forth sequence right there.
Now here's Collison. Looking for his first bucket of the game. It's Mayo on the wing. From downtown. The second chance effort. Brand, good.
And hard work on the boards, guys, leading to that putback.
And here's Perea. The pass to Shved. Gets it off. Hits it.
What a way to close the quarter. Huge three right there.
Yeah, and that's a deflator for the other team.
And so, both teams trading buckets as we end the first quarter. Mavericks lead by 2. And we'll get things started in the second quarter when we return. And we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. And guys, what's your take so far on the Mavs?
And this team has done a nice job on the glass. I think that's how they've built this lead. They've been very physical, really established a presence in the paint.
Well, they've chased down those balls. As soon as they've hit the iron, they've been chasing them down. That's been a solid effort by them.
And now, brought to you...
Man, that was unreal. Mark it up.
And you really don't want to give up too many dunks like that. One is too many.
Oh, yeah, no, certainly you're right. You know, that's making it way too easy for sure.
Yeah, major breakdown defensively. They've got to tighten things up here.
And the highlight reel replay brought to you by Sprite. Good stuff. Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, guys, Kevin Love really transformed his body going into last season. He dropped from 265 to about 240 pounds through off-season training. He said, "What drives me every day is waking up and becoming a better player. Through the yoga, through the strength and conditioning, through the basketball, just becoming a better player year in and year out." The old saying is that players are made throughout the summer. I've really just taken that saying and brought it into reality. Kevin, his future is a bright one.
It certainly is. Thank you, Doris.
He's really dedicated himself, and we've seen the results on the court.
Here's Rubio. Passes it to Pekadik. Nowitzki with the steal. And even 3-on-3 break. Here's Marion. Taken away by Ridnour. And now here comes Ridnour leading the break. Rubio misses. The Mavericks leading.
You know, guys, the Timberwolves improved by leaps and bounds last year, and one way that really showed up was in their improvement against the Western Conference teams. Their record against Western teams much improved over the previous season.
And the Mavericks will go for a different look here. Eldon Brand's checked in for Nowitzki. White comes in for Crowder. O.J. Mayo is checked in for Sean Marion. And James subbed in for Darren Collison. 5 to shoot. From deep three-point range. Shot by Mayo is no good. Yes, Steve, 19 and 29 for the Wolves against the West for them last season. Clark, not where they want to be, but it was miles ahead of their mark the season before.
Yeah, and the season before, they only mustered up 7 wins in 52 games against the West. So anything north of double-digit wins is a big jump. I mean, they'll continue to add to that win total this year, I would think.
The Mavericks shooting their first free throws of the game.
You know, Kevin, they would love to post a similar percentage again this season. I mean, I think that's safe to say they'd love to shoot free throws as well as they did a year ago.
And the Mavericks making a change here. Kamen's checked in. Here's Steemsma. Barea, the pass to Shved. To the inside, Steemsma, and so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two.
Well, in terms of interior defenders, I mean, he's right there with the best of them. His block totals are amazing.
Yeah, he can just swallow up some shots, and you better get it around him because you're not going to get it over him. You either go through him or around him, not over top of him.
Darren Collison is checked in for James.
Well, Mavs coach Rick Carlisle is one of only 11 people to win a title as both a player and as a coach. He was on that Celtics team in '86 that won it all, and of course at the helm for Dallas in 2011.
Here is Barea following the basket by O.J. Mayo. Quarter number 2, around 3 minutes gone by. Barea with it, working on Collison. Here's Steemsma. It's good. Great play set up by Barea. Well, you mentioned, Steve, Rick Carlisle's playing days. He played for 5 seasons in the NBA. Not bad for a third rounder.
Yeah, not bad at all. Spent some time with the Celtics, won a championship, in fact. But he got right into coaching when his playing days ended, knew exactly what he wanted to do, and worked very quickly up through the ranks before taking that head coaching position with Detroit. And, of course, since with the Dallas Mavericks.
It's stolen. And now the Timberwolves on the break. Williams is running. Budinger. And again, it's Minnesota converting. 1:19 left here in the second. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Gentlemen, the Timberwolves seem to be turning a corner in respectability, and even the real powerhouse teams in the league are taking notice. Reigning MVP and NBA champion LeBron James said, "They're a good team. If they continue on the path that they're on now, they can become a playoff team because they have veterans and they have young guys." When you have that type of mix and that chemistry with Coach Adelman and their system, they can do it. If not right now, then very soon. Gentlemen, we'll see.
Doris, a lot of promise on this team. We'll see how they develop. Here is Barea. He's covered by Collison. Steemsma pass to Shved. He dishes it to Williams. 6 on the shot clock. Out of bounds. Dallas takes possession.
Man, I don't know what happened right there. He just basically walked out of bounds.
Vince Carter, he's checked in for Crowder. And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Collison kicks to Nowitzki. The shot's good. Collison making the play. Collison's got assist number 5 here tonight.
Nice job there. He knows how to get that ball in the bucket, doesn't he, guys?
7-second difference, shot and game clock. Marion against Love. Into Pekovic. He's working on Nowitzki. Here's Pekovic. His shot, no good. Some solid D from Nowitzki. Collison kicks to Mayo. Shoots over Rubio. And there's O.J. Mayo on the assist by Collison. Now it's a 7-point Maverick lead. Rejected by Nowitzki. And we've reached halftime in this one. Mavericks ahead, up by 7. Stay right where you are for the Sprint Halftime Show with Damon Bruce. We'll see you in just a bit for the start of the second half.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
I hope your weekend's off to a great start this Saturday night. Thanks so much for tuning in. Mavericks playing well up to the break. Great energy and aggression offensively, making their own luck with a lot of second-chance points. It's been an O.J. Mayo clinic in this one against the Timberwolves. He has 12 points, and he's had some good court vision, helping out in the assist department as well. And slugging it out so far, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Their second unit giving them instant offense. They've gone to their bench for scoring, and they've answered the call. Certainly an impressive start by Nikola Pekovic. His shooting percentage hovering right around 50%. It's awfully good, heads or tails. That's it for me here in the studio. Time to send you back out to Kevin Harlan and the crew for the start of the third quarter.
And now the third quarter about to get going.
How about O.J. Mayo in this one? 12 points, and he's been successful twice from three-point range today.
And he'd love to make a couple more of them, too, I'm sure. It makes things so much easier for him inside when he's out beyond the arc knocking down shots.
The forwards, Sean Marion and Dirk Nowitzki. Then it's Mayo. Then there's Chris Kaman. And it's James in at point guard. That's the lineup in the game for Dallas.
Seeing the Mavs in the playoffs is something that is almost a given at this point. I mean, they've made it each season since 2001.
Now, here's Ridnour. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Pekovic dishes to Rubio. Rubio gets a screen from Pekovic. Lets it go from deep, and the basket good. Going back to Dallas, you do take for granted that somehow, some way, they'll find their way into the postseason, Steve. But the results, obviously, were they just got in, but they couldn't do anything once they got there.
Well, I give Mark Cuban a ton of credit for what Clark talked about, just the longevity of their success. And a lot of that has to do with Dirk Nowitzki as well. But Cuban had a vision. He's put together an amazing franchise, and Dirk has been the superstar to build around. What a run it's been for Dallas.
Here's Rubio. Sean Marion making his last shot. He gathers, and the basket by Rubio. Rubio's got 5 points so far.
Great move to get to the bucket and lay that one in. He's got the softest touch around the basket. Impressive.
James kicks to Mayo. Back to James. There's the dish to Nowitzki. James covered by Rubio. And it's stolen by Ricky Rubio. For three. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
Second half is flowing nicely so far on offense. 75% from the field is what they're shooting.
Well, Ricky Rubio sure made a big impact in his rookie season. Leapt into the starting lineup after 10 games. Unfortunately, had that ACL injury that cut short his rookie year, but he was fantastic, really wowing the fans there in Minneapolis.
Now, here's Rubio. Dirk Nowitzki unable to get his shot to go. Ridnour from outside, and it's good. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back.
Everything's going right now. 4 for 5 shooting, 80%. They got their offense clicking.
And for Rubio, a big part of the Timberwolves' improvement last season was his play, having him on their team. Much better in the win column, and the fans responded.
Well, he's a uniquely gifted passer, Kevin. I mean, he sees things from various angles and makes passes that only few players can make. Not only fun to watch, but I think it helped make them more potent offensively.
Here's Rubio, following the score by Vince Carter. Rubio, the pass to Pekovic. Goes up, and he makes good on the layup. Pekovic has got 8 points.
And we have seen the intensity pick up big time here in the second half.
Well, you can feel the desire from both teams that they really want to win this one.
Now here's Collison, looking for his first bucket of the game. And it's Carter penetrating. Marion up top. Clock at 6. Collison in the post. That is good.
They can't seem to stop anybody inside.
They got to know that if they don't make life tougher in the paint, the opponent is just going to keep going there. I mean, it's not like they'll get tired of all these in-close opportunities.
Now, here's Rubio. He has 5. Pekovic with the screen for Rubio. He lays it in with a soft touch. Rubio's got 7 points here in this quarter.
Well, for him, that finger roll is almost second nature. That's a tough shot for most players.
You typically get a bit of a grace period as an organization after you win an NBA title. But I can imagine the Mavs would have liked to have done better against the Thunder in last year's playoffs.
Yeah, getting swept did not taste good. Timberwolves on offense. They're on a 15-6 run. Love goes in, and there's the call on Brandon Wright. That is his first foul of the game. And the Mavericks will go for a different look here. Chris Kaman is checked in for Brand. Nowitzki comes in for Brandon Wright. O.J. Mayo is checked in for Vince Carter. And James subbed in for Darren Collison. Here is Barea. For the lead. Makes the lead pass. And Williams throws it down.
He would not be denied on that one, no matter what the defender threw at him.
Yeah, he needed just a little more effort to make that stop.
I don't know. I don't think any amount of effort would have done it. I mean, that guy was flying to the hoop.
Crowder, he's checked in for the Mavericks. Clark, as you mentioned with the Mavs, no team likes to go one and done in the postseason. That's exactly what happened to them, especially when you know some of your stars are aging. And they've got some age there right now, Steve.
Yeah, but they've got some house money to play with, Kevin, because of that championship the season before. But, you know, Dallas is now in a transition phase. They knew their stars were getting older, so they had a pretty good draft this past summer. And now it's a time to move forward to the next era of Mavs basketball.
Shved drains it from beyond the arc. He's got 9.
What a half they're having from beyond the arc. It's getting ridiculous.
And there's no reason they shouldn't keep attacking from out there. I mean, they've got it going on in a big way now.
Shots continuing to fall as we conclude the third quarter. Both teams putting up points. Timberwolves lead by 4. And we'll get going after this from the American Airlines Center. As the fourth quarter gets rolling here, let's check out our Sprite Uncontainable game. Let's go to Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Thanks, Kevin. For the Timberwolves, it's been an uncontainable game from their 2-guard off the bench. Not many players can come off the bench and change a game the way he has done through the first 3 quarters. He's been the definition of a 6th man here.
Thanks, Doris. And you love to see that kind of effort from your starters. And here, we've seen that same sort of lift, guys, from the bench.
Yeah, man, I thought he was really a catalyst for them, Kevin. He got them going right away when he got in.
Instant energy is what he gave them, Steve, and you're exactly right. I thought he was their spark plug. The more performances like this that he continues to have, then obviously his minutes are going to increase as well.
And look at the 5 for the Timberwolves to start the fourth. In the backcourt, Ricky Rubio and Luke Ridnour. Kevin Love out there with Andre Kirilenko. And it's Budinger in at the small forward position. And the Mavericks making a change here. Marion's checked in. The Timberwolves also with the sub. Pekovic is checked in. James with it. Guarded now by Rubio. James against Rubio. James kicks to right. The baseline J. Minnesota with the rebound. Love outside. Takes a 3. Dirk Nowitzki with the rebound. Mavericks trailed by 6. Marion kicks to Mayo. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Well, you allow them to get right to the rim like that. That's your only option.
Yeah, I think you got to foul them, and free throws are better than a layup.
Well, Dirk Nowitzki's going to walk away from his career with a number of distinctions. Best European player ever, best shooting 7-footer of all time, obviously one of the game's all-time great scorers, first ballot Hall of Famer. Not bad for a skinny kid out of West Germany.
And the basket by Rubio.
And did you see the pick there? Got him wide open all the way to the rim.
Clark, one thing we've seen from these guys is excellent ball movement.
And you love to see that, Kevin. I mean, I love watching unselfish play, and I know Steve enjoys that too.
Yeah, that's the best part of the game. I mean, a 5-man team game where the ball moves. There's so much unselfish play. It's beautiful to watch.
You talk about all that Dirk Nowitzki has achieved. When he was taken 9th back in 1998, who could have imagined how his career would develop? In fact, he was drafted by Milwaukee and then traded for Robert Tractor Trailer. Unbelievable.
Not many, Kevin, and as much as he opened the door even wider for European players, it's been his work ethic and dedication to the game that's really put him in a class by himself, and that really separates the vast majority of the great players, Kevin. Work ethic and dedication.
Love with the screen on James, and stolen by James. Outside Mayo, gets an open look and hits. Mayo's got 20.
Man, they are both lighting it up here.
Exciting basketball, Steve. I mean, it's been back and forth, each side dropping in points every chance they get.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Yes, Kevin. Well, Rick Adelman had some advice for his team over that last break. It was a pretty upbeat huddle. He said, "I'll bet they won't take us lightly next time, guys." Clearly, he was aware of their underdog status coming into this basketball game, guys.
They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going.
No question about it, guys. He's been one of their best performers today.
Rubio against James. Rubio gets a screen from Love. Rubio dishes to Love. Now the feed to Budinger. And again, it's Minnesota converting. And the Mavericks call time here.
Well, he sees something that he doesn't like. I'm not sure what it is, but I think he's going to make some changes here.
I think you've got to make your adjustments pretty quickly like he's doing here. Otherwise, you know, things can get out of hand. So this is a good timeout.
Pass to Nowitzki. Kicks it to Marion. Open look. Cannot hit. So Minnesota will take it the other way. Rubio, the pass to Ridnour. Back to Rubio. He feeds it to Love. 6 to shoot. And O.J. Mayo pulls it down. Mayo's got his third rebound tonight. Dishes it to Nowitzki. Sinks the 15-footer.
And I'm not really sure that's the time for the fadeaway jumper, but he gets it to go.
Timberwolves leading by 5. And Rubio kicks to Kirilenko. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. The Mavericks have gone 3 of 7 from the floor in the fourth. That's a 42% mark in the quarter. Mayo against Budinger. Mayo dishing to Kaman. He passes to Nowitzki. Good! What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3. And that bucket ignites the crowd.
Crucial bucket there, and you hear it in their reaction.
And you can feel the energy throughout this building right now. What a huge shot.
Ridnour against Mayo. Ridnour passes to Rubio. He kicks it to Love. A step-back shot here. Connects!
He is so good at working himself into the open spots on the floor inside that three-point line.
The Timberwolves making a switch here. Pekovic is checked in. They get a hand on it. And so they choose to intentionally foul. 29 seconds left in the game. And now we've got the intentional foul. So the first one drops, and that increases their lead to 6. And so both free throws are good, and it's a 7-point game.
Just making it look easy at the line and making their lead look a little more comfortable, too.
The shot and game clock separated by 4. Kaman kicks to Mayo. Over Ridnour. It's good! Oh, and that cuts the lead to just 5. 16 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and he commits the intentional foul. It's the first, and that increases their lead to 6. And the Mavericks making a change here. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 7-point game. And the Mavericks call time here. They're trailing by 7. We've got 13 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Knocks it loose. Kirilenko dishes to Rubio. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. First free throw is good, and that stretches their lead to 8. So he gets them both, and it's a 9-point ball game here.
That's how you finish it off. Knock them all down and chalk up the W.
Deflects the pass. Here is Rittenauer. And so the Timberwolves take the win. It was a solid win, Clark.
Yeah, it was, and I think it came down to will more than skill. They went out and got this one.
Well, it's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew thanking you for tuning in. Now it's time to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Ricky Rubio.